Okay. Well, awesome, dude. Yeah, welcome to the Pro-Funhaver podcast, man.
Nice. Excited to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, like I said, I started noticing, I started you since I did like the little bit of work that I've done now with Red Bull and that. And I saw recently you had your Guinness World Record, your actual plaque and that sent to you. So
Yeah.
super awesome. And I thought, again, I started watching more of your content. It's like this guy fits 110% into the Pro-Funhaver thing. Like, dude, I'm looking through your content. I'm looking, I now want to start rock climbing just because it looks like so much fun. So,
If
so
if that's how my content's coming over, it's like a huge winner.
dude,
If that's
110%, 110%, dude. This is the first time that I've heard of you, and I checked on your social media, and I'm like, okay, cool. No, this guy, you make being fit fun. You look like rock climbing, all that looks fun. Like just going up there, hanging in there next to rock face, it all looks like amazing.
Yes. Well, like the first time I read your handle, the Pro-Funhaver, I
Yes,
was like,
yes, yes.
this is such a catchy phrase.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. That's so well.
No, we've
Um,
claimed it like me and my some of my friends, we all said we're not pros at like because we enjoy riding dirt bike and skateboarding and all that stuff and we're not pros at that, but we're pro at having fun. You can give us and put us in any scenario and we'll make sure that we have the time of our lives.
that's a mindset that you can't really lose at.
Definitely not. No, like I said, as
Yeah.
we've seen it as far as like as long as you're having fun, and then I think the more you have fun, the more you get to know people like yourself, and
Yeah.
you can just have more and more fun in it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like the sporting industry as a whole, I think, or the adventure industry, to frame it better, is if you surround yourself with like those like-minded people, like people are just positive, enthusiastic, like fun orientated,
Exactly.
it kind of rubs off on you. It just adds a lot of quality to life, I guess, instead of having morbid freaking people who complain about politics all day.
110%, dude.
Pro not fun havers.
Yeah. Yeah, the pro complainers.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, but so before we get on, like for the people listening, can you give an elevator pitch? Who is Thomas van Tonder?
Yes. Okay. Well, Thomas van Tonder. I'm a Red Bull obstacle course racing athlete. A lot of people will have to Google that to find out what it means. OCR for short. And locally in South Africa, it's called Warrior Race. That's obstacle racing. I've been doing it since 2014. My biggest bragging rights currently would be sprint race world champ, 3K second place, 15K. Yes, I was seventh last in 2019. Obviously, no race in 2020 and possibly 2021. I'm a dad of a boy, which is about 2 years old. I live in Hartbeespoort, or Harties, as a lot of people know it. Mountains and trails is kind of there's a lot of it here. And currently married. I'm a professional athlete for a living. I do some sideline photography stuff and a little bit of coaching as well into OCR specifically. And then I chat to cool people like you in the spaces that I'm not running around training or building trails or rock climbing or whatever. And I think a big part of this podcast would mention as well. Recently, a Guinness World Book of Records record holder for the fastest 50-meter rope climb. Really exciting project. We did a whole docu on that. Really some cool stuff that we did there. So awesome. I think that's about Thomas in a nutshell.
Yeah, no, well, dude, that's encapsulating like basically everything that I've seen so far, and like it's insane that you can find someone like yourself that is it's a unique thing. Well, for me, like like you said yourself, like most people have to go and Google what is an OCR, and so how did you start get into that? Because like you've reached now a level of, like I said, a pro in that you've won multiple medals. You're obviously a sponsored athlete in that sense. Like how did the interest in that start?
Sure, it's actually ironic. The very first time I interacted with Warrior Race was I was training for the 947 Cycle Challenge or the Rye Joburg now, and I got 2 flat tires, believe it or not. Murphy just dumped on me. And I was busy pushing my bike next to the road. And these bunch of crazy people just came storming out of the bush on one of the trails, just like full of mud, screaming, and running around. I was like, dude, what in the world are you guys doing? Like, like, are you guys mental? And they all just screamed warrior and they run further. I'm like, geez, this is some crazy stuff. And the next morning in the gym, the guy on the spinning bike next to me was talking about this warrior race thing. And I was like, okay, I got to check this out. So at that time I was doing kickboxing, and I got some friends from the kickboxing club, and we entered one for fun. And as we were finishing our 5K, like they call it the rookie, the 5K discipline, the elites of that day finished. I'm like, this is a thing that you can actually be raced.
Yeah.
Like, this is freaking so cool. So I entered the next one to race it.
Yeah.
I entered wrong though. There's like an elite batch, and then there's a non-elite, like here for the beer, competitor vibe, like and help each other, stuff like that. So I entered not the elite, just the normal category, and started 10 minutes behind the elites, raced really hard, like had this mission to like chase them down. And when I came over the line, they told me I'm second. So I was like, no, second, like in my badge. No, you're second. I was like, geez. So I ran in everyone and I came second. Like a little bit of a light bulb moment. Like, Thomas, you're good at this shit. Like you should train for this.
Perfect.
And I put some more time into it, and we are here now. Geez, almost 8 years later.
Jeez.
Yeah, 7 years.
No, that's
how I got into it.
Yeah, because when you see the movements and that you do, that's like basically, if you think, okay, well, I don't think today's kids, but like back when we were younger, like you were playing outside in the jungle gym, you're running over this, you're playing in this, like it looks like this is the natural progression of something like you would do when you were a kid, and now you're doing it as a professional athlete in that sense.
A lot of people mock me, or actually just one person inside of Red Bull calls me a professional jungle gym athlete, which I guess is not too inaccurate, so I can't really blame her. But it is very back to that, I want to say, primal state of fitness, very functional, got to jump 100%. Over stuff, you got to go under stuff, carry things around, and a very functional kind of sport. In the same breath, very diverse. Like you have to be able to run, you have to be strong, but you also have to be fast. You have to have a very broad sense of fitness to be good at obstacle racing. It's hard, but it's also fun. Like, because you can do anything and it's applicable.
Yeah,
kayaking and rock climbing, and it's all applicable in a way. Yeah.
It's all in that one sense. I think that's what's my draw to it as well, because that diversity of it. Like you can go hiking, you can go running, and all the stuff that you do and the places you see, because you can take that adventure race to any place that you want to, like any nature, like open trail. You can put a few obstacles in there, and boom, you've got an obstacle race there.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess obstacle races they're a bit more difficult to host in terms of like just trail runs or so on. Not like, I guess trail runs has their own difficult stuff, but people who try and come into the OCR eventing space and say, okay, we're going to host our OCR event, it's a very technical thing to host. You have like a whole range of different obstacles and possible rules on it, and to have it fair for everyone, it's quite a complicated thing to host on a like Warrior does, like on a credible big scale, and still have it doable for everyday oaks and for pro athletes. And it's quite a complicated thing to host. Yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah, because you need to, like, for instance, okay, I've entered a few races myself a few years ago. Nice. And going from like the 5K, like you say, just there, cool. You come a couple of mates. You're actually trying to get people into fitness by getting a few of your mates, and then actually having the elites there to like have that diverse section there, because you can't just cater for the one. You obviously, like with an event like Warrior Race and that, it's the perfect race to have that. Like you saw it now by guys running past you while you were pushing your bike. But if you got to the 5K, like I've had many of my friends that started training because they realized how unfit they were and how like they couldn't like do basic things like just climb up something or run up this or go through water and stuff like. And then they said, oh, you know what? After this race, I'm going to sign up for gym and this and that, and they actually gradually just started improving because, as you said, it's more functional fitness. It's like the type of fitness you do there is the type of strength you kind of need for day-to-day stuff as well.
Yeah, no, you nailed it there. I think in, like we spoke earlier, it being such a primal thing, or like reminding you of things you used to do as a kid. Oh, well, like you said, don't know kids these days, but
yeah,
you grew up on a farm, you run around, you climb trees, you jump in the dam, you just be a crazy kid. And people coming to warrior races or obstacle races and then not being able to do like those basic things that they used to be able to, it's just a very relatable measurement of fitness. Like, damn, I used to be able to climb over a pole or run through a river, and now I can't. So it's just there's a lot of people that can kind of use it as a measuring gauge of stuff they used to be able to do that they just can't anymore.
100%, yeah.
A lot of people take that back and hopefully go to the gym and come race again.
Yeah, and just start living more healthily in that sense. But the other sense that I've also think it's a big drawing point to like obstacle races in general is the whole community side of it. As if once you get there, like everyone is motivated to do it, like in the lower classes, and that everyone wants to help each other and like they motivate each other. I remember the one you had, like a friend of mine, like he was always the big talker, and there was this one of those places where you have to jump off into a water splash, and he was standing there like shaking. It's like, okay, then we all just motivated him and like psyched him up, and eventually he jumped. And afterwards, like he felt such a sense of accomplishment by like accomplishing not a simple task, but like just jumping off there and conquering that fear. And then he was hooked. I think he did 2 or 3 races after that as well. He even drove, I can't remember, but it was like a while back now, but he drove to a further one to go and attend another one, and just he got kind of hooked into the thing. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's how it should be. And then you kind of get, just keep on going for that, and that sense of community where you get there, you're going to find people, even at the gym and the training side of it, there's more of a community to the functional training than anything else. If you see other athletes training, they're always by themselves, they're this and that, and they have their own little group. But as soon as you part of the thing, it's like the CrossFit thing, it's like the same thing. It's a community thing, and like everyone tries to get better themselves and help each other and motivate each other, which is awesome.
Yeah, I find sports in general, like everyone doing like the same kind of sport, is very understanding and supportive of each other. But like warrior or obstacle racing now specifically, it pushes a lot of average people to have to face fears that they wouldn't face in average life, like jumping off of something. And a lot of people think, yeah, I'll be fine. But once you get there and you stand on top of that thing, it looks 3 times as high, and now you have to jump down. And I think in a way that sense of accomplishment that you get at the finish is what is that's the addictive part of obstacle racing. It's not the suffer fest in the mud, or like I think it's that's camaraderie and that finish line vibe that you kind of want a more of a taste of afterwards. There's a very cool documentary called The Rise of the Suffer Fests, which is specifically a documentary on why people pay to go run in the mud and experience pain. It's a quite a cool docu. I would suggest for people to go watch it.
Awesome, definitely. No, well, I'll add it. Where is it? Is it on Netflix or?
Sure, we'll have to Google it to make sure.
Yeah, no, I'll
see if
Google
I can find
it and add it in the show notes. So if people want it, they can go and have a look at it. Same with your Red Bull TV doc. I'll add it in there.
Yeah, that one.
So now going to that step, like from the obstacle racing and stuff like that, and actually going to attempt like a rope climb. Obviously, rope climbing is one of the obstacles in an obstacle course race and stuff like that. But what got you say to okay, cool, you know what, I'm gonna climb. I want to try this, attempt this world record.
So yeah, just for context, the docu we're referring to it's a Red Bull documentary on Red Bull TV called Rising with the Sun. It's the 15-minute docu on the Guinness World Record attempt. The official title of the record is fastest 50-meter rope climb, but we attempted this record between the 2 Soweto Towers in Johannesburg. Those who do not know what that looks like, just go Google Soweto Towers. It's hell of a high. It's freaking intimidating as hell. There's actually a bungee that they operate from there. So there's 2 cooling towers, all power station, and a little bridge in between, and then a bungee from there. So the base of the bungee like platform was 96 meters, if I remember correctly. So initially we were looking for a 100-meter distance. We wanted to do a 100-meter record. So having the correct site in the right location, but not getting 100. Okay, well, we settled for going for the 50-meter record within summiting the full length of the Soweto Towers as part of the bigger project. But why? Yes, the why kind of came from me just being really bored. Like, I want to go do something. No, I'm joking. When we were all like locked down, level 5, like can't do anything. Being an athlete, not having any like mission or goal of kind of meaning, I found myself sitting at home and being frustrated and being annoyed with my wife, and like just I needed something to chase, something to dream about and train for, and I needed something big enough to kind of scare me a little, otherwise I won't take it serious. Like it needed to be something like, shit, I don't know if I can do that. If I don't train, I'm gonna fail horribly. So I had a bunch of ideas and we kind of brainstormed a bit with the Red Bull team, but when we thought about the long rope climb and specifically the Soweto Towers, I was like, that is something I want to do. And actually later on, the factor of Guinness World Record actually came into play, which made it even bigger. And then we went full-blown documentary. But the whole idea was just to reach and push and just get a goal or get a mission. And that was the motivation behind or the spark behind why climb this ridiculously high tower with a rope.
No, that's awesome. Like I said, I think it's such a cool metaphor that you were like saying now, like you need something to chase. I think that's all of us. Like my girlfriend's told me this as well. Like the other day, she's like, yeah, you need something to go and do. You need a goal to go and chase. Otherwise, you like just become grumpy and irritated with yourself because I'm sitting, not doing something, and I'm always just. You need to be busy, and I think that's a kind of a mindset that you're in, and I think that's not just the mindset from us, like I said, as a Pro-Funhaver and stuff like that, but also just in general. I think that's what everyone should do. Even you don't like, not everyone is like has to go and climb a rope at the Soweto Towers, but I think that should be a general outlook in life. It's like, even if it's a weekly goal, you said, okay, at the end of this week I need to accomplish this, and if I don't work at it, I'm not going to do it, and and you need people that kind of keep you accountable for that. But now, leaning towards that, who would you say, what is your, like, who holds you accountable? Is that like a personal thing where you, like, it's you yourself, or like how do you keep yourself motivated in that? Because like you could have said, okay, cool, I'm going to climb that rope, and then just left it, and no one would have been the wiser. Like, a few people around you would have been. But what keeps you accountable?
It's a good question. I think it changes from time to time what the factor is that I feel, yes, I really need to pull this through or get this done. In a way, that project specifically was, I have, obviously my little boy is growing up, he's 2 years old now, but he's gonna social media is still gonna be there by the time he's grown up. You can go back and see what his dad did when he was his age, and this was kind of this thing that I can tackle that was really intimidating in troubling times and make it something really positive or big. And I kind of wanted to leave that for him to look at one day when he thinks, yes, we can't do anything, or like, what did my father do when the world was upside down? And this is kind of the result. So that was a big motivating, like a bit of a deeper motivating factor. But I guess I'm just a really stubborn guy. Like, if I want to do something, I really want to do it. And we decided we were gonna do this, and I just really wanted to I just personally wanted to. But as soon as this project got some momentum and we spoke to, like, this team behind this project was huge. It was like it was insane eventually. Like, I don't think people realize the complexity of doing this attempt. And the team behind me put in so much effort to make sure everything is right, from the admin side for the evidence for Guinness World Records to the rigging teams and the safety teams. Like, there was such a big amount of people who invested so much of their personal time and effort into making this dream of mine happen, that I felt so responsible. Like, if I don't take this seriously, I'm really just like not respecting what they put into the project. And that was also a big factor. Like, Thomas, you got to freaking get this done. Don't faff around with this.
No, but I think that's most 90% of the things, because people see something like that and they'll watch a 15-minute doc around that, but they don't see like that you climbing up the road was basically the last 2% of that whole thing, like the setup and the training and everything else like that leads up to that, which is the actual hard work of making something like that happen and having that plaque with your name on it with the Guinness World Record.
It's actually not far. Wait, give me a second.
Yeah.
Official.
There we go.
Guinness World Record certificate.
That's insane. Yeah. Well, yeah, dude. Well, again, just well done on that. I just commented on that post and I said, dude, that is so insane. Like to actually, like, not just under normal circumstances, but like in lockdown with the world being upside down, still finding the motivation to train, to get like guys like Red Bull and all your other sponsors and that involved and have them to say, okay, yes, you know what, let's go and let's do this and make this happen and then achieving that and actually having like that park with your name on it and that, I think that's an achievement upon itself. And just like that's why I was like, cool, I'm gonna follow you. And like I actually saw some of my other friends also follow, like, dude, this guy is like who you need. Like we were talking earlier about those people around, like these days you don't like on a daily basis I might interact on people like with this Zoom with the podcast or have a half-hour meeting with someone on a shoot or a project that we're doing, but that's the only human interactions we're doing. So I've even gone to the space of catering my social media following to people that are not whining and complaining, but people that are motivating. So when I see your story of you running in Hearties and that, I was like, oh, that's so cool. I can't wait to get out to like this weekend. I'm going to go do this, or even just, okay, cool. You know what? I'm going to smash all these meetings today so that I can get to go and do this. So it's just like a little bit of motivating factor to it. And I really think we need more people like yourself, not just breaking world records, but also just do it like on a daily basis, like showing that it's a journey to get that.
Thanks. I guess it's quite a compliment. But I agree like 100%. The kind of people you surround yourself with very much determines the attitude in your everyday life. Like if you have adventurous, motivated, like I call them high caliber people, just people that they want to do stuff in life that kind of rubs off on you. Then if you look at someone like, gee, this guy, he trained twice a day and he's still getting his full hour of work in, like it just, some people are like, damn, I can do more. Look at what this guy's doing.
100%.
And it's, I like that very much. I guess that's why the world of Red Bull and sport in general, that's why I love it so much. It's just filled with adventurous, high caliber people.
100%.
Awesome.
No, I think that's why it's and people that like I always say, like, people don't understand, like yourself, you're wearing your Red Bull hat now as well. Like people don't, like I've always compared it to the motocross guys. You see people putting on that Red Bull helmet and that, and people's like, oh yeah, cool, Red Bull sponsor. He's probably drinking a lot of energy drinks and that. But like just to be associated to those type of caliber of people, I think it's on another level. And I think that's just, it's just like exactly like you said, it's high caliber people doing stuff that normal people that can only aspire to do, if I consider it like that. And it's out there to motivate. And the cool thing that I found is, yes, you guys are exceptional people in that sense, but it's still of a normal caliber to there, where I can send you an invite on Instagram and say, hey, you want to be on my podcast? And you're like, no, okay, cool. No, I'm here, you here. So that's not how it works. It's like, yes, yeah, let's do this. Let's make it happen. And it's awesome to see. The more that I get to know these people, the more that I say they're exceptional people, but they're still humble as hell, which is makes it even better.
Yeah. I think it's like that with a lot of things. Like if you look up at a lot of the people in the Red Bull world, like Brian Sands, or like people that I look up to even. And I think it's a common perception that people that has a bit of like a fame, I guess, or achieved big things or did some big media, they kind of put on this pedestal. Just unconsciously, people, this is just a normal thing to do.
100%.
But if you get to know any one of them, they're just people. Obviously they have their super characteristics and motivation and stuff that is really inspiring, but at the end of the day, like if you approach any one of them with a message or inbox, they're all pretty open to have a chat or to like respond to things. I would very much encourage people not to be afraid to reach out to people they admire. Like we're all just people, I guess.
No, that's 100% why I started this podcast, because like you see all these people with their content and stuff like that, and you see them on that side, and then I thought, like, you know what would be the best thing is like to actually just like reach out to them if they then and talk to them and that, and I get so much motivation from like interacting with these like people like yourself and that, and seeing your accomplishments and that. It's insane. It's really awesome to get that. And then what I like to achieve with this is same with film and the photography that I do and all that, is to show other people like these humans. Because like I can tell you now, if I tell my mom, it's like, hey, have you seen Thomas van Tonder? Like who's that? Like it's like she wouldn't know. But now I can actually send her a podcast episode and say, hey mom, I can listen to this. This is another cool guy that I've got to like had to spend a few minutes with and chat to, and like listen to his story. He's awesome. And like now we can get X amount of downloads or whatever, but now those people also know another person that they can add to their high caliber list of people that can motivate them, which is awesome.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm kind of spreading that circle of good people.
Exactly.
You say you're a photographer, filmmaker. Is that more your
yeah? So that's the company that I have is Disruptive Intent, and we do film and photography. That's how I started, and then eventually I started the podcast as well, and now we have those 3 legs, and soon starting another leg of the company that we basically do film and photography, more focused on off-road racing and that side. But with that, like I said, like that's why I enjoy the name. Even on my personal profile, I'm saying I'm a Pro-Funhaver. That's what I do. that's what I like to do. But now to get back to the whole social media side of it, you also said like you're also a photographer and you're trying to like capture stuff like that. And then how much of a role do you think social media and doing stuff like this and that plays a role in being an athlete these days? Because you obviously have a responsibility to your people, that your partners that back you, and that like how much of a role is that these days in social in Northern life being a pro athlete?
Yeah, it's a very big part these days. Like social media is kind of your voice, or your space where you promote your vision and the things you do and what you use to do them and why you do it. Like if anyone has an interest in what you do and how you do it and what you use to do it with, they're going to come poke at your social media. 100%. So it's very much a concept or aspect of being an athlete these days that you have to be able to do. I feel like a couple of years back, maybe you had to be good at a news interview or two, where that's still relevant. You have to be able to like talk on a camera and be comfortable in media scenarios. But social media is such a big tool that if you take away the social media side, the social media side, it's hard to justify sponsors' involvement with athletes without the athlete having that platform to kind of promote them. I think that was a big lever for me as an athlete to give something back to my sponsors in time of Corona, not having events, not having campaigns, not really having any active things going on to kind of promote and use the brands that's involved with me. That Rope Climb project gave me a good platform for all of the brands that kind of support me and I support them. And I feel like if you're a very good athlete, but you're horrible at social media, it's a bit of a loss. If you're a horrible athlete, but you're really good at social media, there's also like, you're going to maybe get a sponsor or two, a promotion or two, but you kind of have to have both aspects nailed to kind of get to the higher caliber. Here I go with caliber again, the higher like level of athlete sports kind of vibes. Yeah.
No, I think I agree with you 100%, but I think the part is like people misinterpreted that like I've seen guys that send a request to some of the brands that I've worked with, and they send them a message like, hey, can you send me free gear? I can guarantee X amount of likes on a post or something like that. Okay, but that's not kind of what from my perspective, what the brands that I've worked with, they want in that sense is, but from your experience now, like what is a good like outlook on that? So to provide in a time like this now, what is your kind of strategy to provide a value to the sponsors that you work with? Like what?
Yeah, I think that's a difficult space. A lot of people go in that route of trying to like inbox a brand, like give me some stuff and I can do X or Y for you. And with any athlete brand relationship, I think it's always needs to be more than just kind of a social media thing, or give me some gear and I'll do some social media. Like I feel like there has to be a deeper alignment or like beliefs. Like for me, like the Salomon brand is a good example. Like the slogan is hashtag time to play, like go outside and have some fun. And the stuff they do and the products they sell is very relative to what I do as a person and as an athlete. So from their side, they've just been supporting me since Jesse, 2015, I think. It's been a long journey with them. And then like Red Bull Oaks, Sunto, whoever, or like all the other people I have on board is, it's kind of like you build a relationship with the people behind the brand, and you work with them, and they have expectations for you. How can I phrase this? It's important to manage the expectation from both sides, meaning you as the athletes need to say, this is what you're able to do, this is why you want to do it, and this is what you expect from them. And then they, from their side, need to give their expectations of you as the athlete or the talent. And if those things align, then something can happen there. If it doesn't, then a lot of people try and force it through, and like, I can give you X amount of likes per post. Like, yeah, that's cool, but why? Like, what are we doing here? There's no bigger thing going on yet. And it's difficult to find those relationships. Sometimes they just don't fit. Or so it's there's no silver bullet, but I feel like you need to work with brands that kind of have a relative meaning or value add to what you're doing, and vice versa.
My outlook on it all has always been like you kind of need to live that lifestyle. Like for instance, if I see the brands that you're associated with, the watch, like the GP, Sunto watch that you wear, the activity tracker, that, and your clothes branding and Red Bull and that, all those brands, you would be doing exactly what you're doing with, even without those brands. Like that's you as your lifestyle. You would still go hiking, you still go running, you still do the obstacle courses with or without them. And I think that's the part that I think some people are missing. They just see like that the lifestyle they can have, and they just want to go for that instead of it being a natural thing that you're doing. Because you see so many, like I always joke, and there's another podcast that I listened to, Jace, he had a thing of, you see these Instagram models where today this is the not thing and they're wearing this or using this or whatever, tomorrow another brand's paying them and now it's this product and now it's that product. So they hop around, where if it was a natural thing like that you do every day, then it would be like, yeah, it would just fit into who you are. And I think it would be a natural thing to promote that brand, where instead of now, hey, go look at my promo code and get 10% off for this brand and this brand, and like you've never used that brand in your life, you've actually never gone to a store and bought that brand or like drank Red Bull or whatever. Now all of a sudden you want a brand like that to say, hey, we'll support you with this and that. So I think that's where the balance comes in.
I think I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah, like if you're not really aligned with the brand and you don't really use it, but they're going to pay you to do it, it's going to be very uncredible content.
Exactly.
Like it's usually quite obvious usually when something is an ad.
Yeah.
Oh, look at my new shovel! I just bought it, and I'm so amazing. Like, it's easy to spot content like that, and be honest, like I don't watch it. It's not, there's no story to it. There's no like, I'm following this guy, he's doing this because that's what he loves doing and I want to see what he does. It's just someone's paid to do this ad. I'm not really going to look at it. Like, next.
100%.
Uncredible content.
100. No, I agree with you, dude. It's and the problem is the world's so flooded with it, and then people coming up get that message that is how it should be done, and then it's completely the complete opposite thing. But now talking more about your journey, now you've mentioned like you've had all these accomplishments and you're going on further. Like what is the future plans? Like what are you planning on like doing next? What is the next Guinness record you want to attempt, or race you want to go around? I know it's lockdown and COVID and all that stuff that we can't like, even we can't even sit in person and have this chat. So like, what is the next step that you looking to?
Yes, life in general is still rather crazy. I guess if we can just have some normal athletes life back in terms of eventing and stuff like that, that'll be amazing. Currently I'm busy checking out the regulations and requirements if it would be at all possible for me to travel to the US. We have OCR World Championships in Stratton in Vermont, end of September 27th. And if I can get there and put up a good race, that'll be massive for me. But it'll be rather difficult doing. So imagine flying over to America, having 2 weeks of lockdown, and then like a week or two to prepare for an event. It's really not the ideal build-up for a World Championships race. Then it might not be worth going at all. Rather stay home and climb a bigger tower.
Yeah.
So it's currently life is still pretty crazy. Hopefully this new wave of COVID doesn't upset the country too much, and life as we know it could return sooner rather than later, hopefully. Currently that's the biggest thing. If that can happen, we are possibly looking at a bigger rope climb, like a way bigger one. But in the same breath, we'd have to travel for that, and there's a big group of people involved for that. So even like projects is getting risky to host safely, you know, under these like COVID-19 conditions and regulations without stepping on toes. And like we have an event called Magalies Rock, which is a trail run that I host out at the Cableway in Harties. And even that we had to move. Like it would be irresponsible having it now. It was supposed to be the 14th of August. Okay. But moved to the 4th of September. So we'll see what regulations look like. But I just want a bit more normal life back to be able to operate and do things without putting people's lives in danger. It's quite crazy, actually.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing from our side now. Like I'm following all the off-road racing organizations and that, and then as soon as you think, okay, cool, race is planned, this, and then they say no, it's been moved and this. So I think I agree with you. There's so much uncertainty now, and I actually spoke to my girlfriend now last week or so. Then I said to her, it's kind of selfish to think the problems that I'm sitting with at the moment is like I'm getting frustrated because I can't go do a photography shoot at a race, and there's actual people that are sick and that, and you get kind of frustrated by that. But like, and then like, and so you can't. And the problem is you can't get angry about it. Like I've said it so many times that people that can adapt and evolve and that go like kind of like not use the advantage, but kind of grow in this sense and still come out on top. Like for instance, still be able to make content, still do podcasts over Zoom and provide people with content for our media house, that we have content going and making partnerships and stuff like that. I think that's the better outlook to have, because now me getting angry because Ramaphosa said, cool, no events and this and this and that is not going to make it anything better until it's actually going to me getting angry about, okay, the events being canceled is going to get someone else angry, and that ripple effect is going to be so much better. Like where I could go in the opposite and say, okay, cool, now we have more time to prepare for that race, or more time to do this or that or whatever. So I think in essence it's a blessing in disguise, and it makes anyone a lot more resourceful to actually still make stuff happen while we're under these regulations.
Yeah, it doesn't make it less frustrating.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
If you're forced into a scenario where you have never been, you get forced to think of solutions you never previously had to.
100%.
So it's kind of, you'll find a way to figure out life. So if the question is what's next, it's just figure out the current state of life, I guess. Definitely. See how to do what we need, how to do what we are doing in this tumble dryer, which is our world currently.
No, dude, 100%. But I think that's part of the fun actually, is just being in that tumble dryer, instead of like screaming, just put your hands up and like enjoy the ride.
Yeah, woohoo! Yeah, exactly. Pro-Funhaver.
Pro-Funhaver, dude, 100%. Dude, so to actually like encapsulate this whole podcast in one section, if you had like a life philosophy that you live by, and some advice that you can give to the people listening that want to kind of follow their paths, and like not eventually just initially follow their dreams in climbing a rope or going on obstacle races, but in general just chasing their dreams, what would your advice be to those people?
The first thing that this is always a quick question I would like to give some thought. You know, this is like a thing that would encourage people to do certain things. I'm like, I gotta get this right. Yeah. But the first thing that jumps to mind, I did a bit of a motivational talk with a bunch of guys, breakdancers actually, like a couple of months back. And the whole core line of that talk was that big goals create opportunity for more opportunities. Meaning, this rope climb of mine was my big goal, and then I set this big thing, and just reaching for it creates opportunity for other opportunities. Meaning now there's news opportunities, there's collaboration opportunities, and even if you don't reach that goal, like let's say I failed, it still creates momentum to find other opportunities and meet people and do things that's in the direction of whatever you're doing. So just having that goal and like going for it creates all the momentum and interaction and networking that you would need to kind of steer yourself to wherever you need to end up or want to end up.
Dude, I think I couldn't have said it better. Like I think that's the ultimate thing. Because as you said, even if you fail, like the momentum that you've picked up already, you just like you can just continue on with that. And I think that's on the, like hitting the nail on the head right there, dude.
See, I didn't get it right.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. So, but dude, thanks so much for your time. And yeah, we did it a little bit earlier today and everything. And yeah, I was, like I said, I'm now passionate, avid follower of your content and stuff. And hopefully once all this die down, I'll have my camera ready. I was actually thinking, like one of my colleagues in the company, Lyle, he's a FPV drone pilot. I thought like that would be a kind of a cool thing to like while you're climbing or hiking or whatever, he can follow you around there. So I think as soon as this whole like we can do it a little bit safer and whatever, then we should definitely get something going. But yeah, in all ends, dude, yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and just all I can say is just keep on doing what you're doing, dude, because you're inspiring people. Even though you don't, like, not everyone is going to reach out to you like I did and say, hey, you want to be on the podcast or whatever. But I think you really think what you're doing is inspiring people and motivating people. So I'm excited to see the next bigger thing and actually you in events and stuff like that, dude. I'm really stoked for that.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for giving me the platform to come and chat to you guys and share a bit more of the life of Thomas. And
awesome.
Like being able to do things that I love doing and having people take that as inspiration is one of the most satisfying things I've ever done. So it's really cool to see that people are watching my content and getting something meaningful out of it. Yeah, I like hearing that feedback. But yeah, thanks to you. Thanks for your time as well.
No, anytime.
And pretty keen to chat about whatever. If life returns to normal, we can do some cool stuff.
Awesome, dude. No, 100%. If people do want to go and follow you, and what is your handles and stuff that people can go and follow you if they're listening now and it's like, okay, cool, who is this rope climber guy? We want to go follow him now.
Yeah, just go Google crazy rope climber guy.
Yeah. No,
I'm joking. So all my handles would be at Thomas_OCR. So THOMAS Thomas. Pretty much Instagram is my most active platform, but I'm on Facebook. Recently been on TikTok as well.
Oh,
TikTok.
nice. Yeah.
Just dabbling in to see what all the fuss is about. Yeah, at Thomas OCR, or you can just Google Thomas van Tonder. You'll probably see some stuff come up there with me running in mud or climbing ropes or something. The documentary specifically is called Rising with the Sun, and that'll be on Red Bull TV if they're keen to go see what the rope climb actually entailed.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I'll put a link in the show notes in the description of this podcast. So if people are going to listen to it on iTunes or Spotify and that, they can just afterwards scroll down and click on it. It'll take them right. I'll put an embedded link there, so it'll open the Red Bull app as soon as they launch it, so they can watch it from there.
Sneaky sneak.
There we go.
Sounds cool.
Get those downloads. Dude, yeah, thanks very much for your time, and I really appreciate it, and it was very awesome talking to you, man.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for your time. We'll catch up soon.
Cool.